going on, people? Welcome to the full view. We haven't had one for a little while. It feels like ages. What's DJ doing? He's just wiping his lens. Okay, he's making sure he's crystal clear. He's brought out the Cuban links. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, we have to.
He's
We have
ready.
to. Celebration settings, man.
Celebration settings. It is the day after the night before. Obviously, still soaking in that 3 points. Still soaking in that humbling of Arsenal. That was beautiful to see. A lot of Arsenal fans needed that. A lot of them deserve that, and more importantly, we needed that to keep on our run, to keep on building our confidence, which was top. Big up Marcel, big up DJ, big up Owen, big up Faz, big up Cam, and big up to you lot, the community. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And remember, you can join the United View membership as well if you'd like to as well. Links in the video description below. And remember, you can nominate us for a lot of awards, any awards you would like to. In the Football Content Awards, it'd be sick to get the channel nominated for that as well. I think the awards are in November sometime. I can't remember, but yeah, whenever they are, they're coming up soon. So if you want to nominate your guys, then yeah, hit that button. Right, let's get into this. United keep winning. Ten Hag's Ten Haging. We're seeing like some of the stuff that the We Talk Ajax guys have been talking about. You know what I mean? Raising the confidence, making players that you think are dead, all of a sudden start playing well. A lot of what they're saying is coming to fruition. And I feel like we have to start with Marcel. And the reason why we have to start with Marcel is not because Marcel told us all this would happen and all that, but I think Marcel deserves this because he's the man who keeps the most calm when there's the most panic going on around him, when everything's falling down, when everything's really tough. He manages to stay the calmest. So I'm interested to see what you're saying about where we are currently at.
Nah, I appreciate you, Flex, man. I've been trying to tell everyone. I'm lagging today, but I've been trying to tell everyone. I'm invigorated, man. That's the key word. I think the team's invigorated. The manager's invigorated. The fans, the stadium's invigorated. So this was inevitable. I genuinely believe this was inevitable. It's been part and parcel of plenty mistakes that are going to come along the way again, and we'll have dips in form as well. But it's key for us to build on this now. I think 10 straight wins in a row is what we need to be working towards. Right now, if we win again against Crystal Palace, that's 5.
What?
Yeah.
10 straight wins.
Wait. Everyone went silent there for a second. Did you say 10 wins, man?
10 straight wins.
You said nearly win a quarter of the games in the season in a row. Is that what you're saying?
Owen, but basically what's happening, Owen, is we're on the new cycle now. You're about to accuse me for delusion and all these things again, and
you were doing so well. Flex gave you your flowers, and you could have just said, yeah, we keep going, we keep building. You went for 10. This is why I admire you, Marcel, because you got the credit. And then you went, I'm gonna take it even higher. I'm gonna go even more ridiculous up in the air. Oh, unbelievable.
I believe in this team. I believe this is the manager, Owen. This is the guy. I said that we were gonna win it again. I remember we done a nice morning show, a really good morning show the other day. I said we was gonna win. We won that game. I've said that this is the team. I said that we're gonna keep winning games until the 2nd of October, and I genuinely do believe that. 2nd October is a massive test for us. But if we're doing this step by step, which is what we have to do it's Real Sociedad, which is our next game. That's the next process. Ten Hag has to learn now about rotation of players, and hopefully he does that well and he's successful with that, because it can't be the same side again. But no, I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you, man, because at the end of the day, we all want to see the club win. It doesn't matter about who's right or wrong. It does at the same time for banter purposes. And,
it does matter when I'm right. Yeah.
It does.
How quickly did you backtrack on that? It doesn't matter about right or wrong, but it does.
It was right, but I like to see all of you happy and the community happy that we're winning games, and that's what it is right now. So yeah,
listen, Marcel is just infectious, man. I love this guy. You just got a way about you of just bringing joy in it, just bringing good vibes. So big up Marcel, man, 100%. DJ, you haven't been on for a while, actually, full view setting. So really, I should have started with you, but yeah, we'll come to you second because of that as well, man. You haven't really had a chance to be here for a little while. So actually, how are you feeling? Because I don't think you've been on since even the first 2 games when we were really poor. After that,
yeah, I ran away after that, Flex. I was bad.
Yeah, it was like that was enough to get you gone, innit? Yeah, you didn't really want to come back. So how are you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, I think, the first 2 games scared the hell out of me. I can't even lie. I thought, here we go again. But, credit to Ten Hag. He really stepped up and showed us kind of what he's made of. He made a lot of hard decisions that a lot of managers previously were either scared to make or because of politics in the club couldn't make. And he made a lot of big decisions. And, it's just so good now to see the team on sort of like a positive kind of step now. The football has been better. We've seen signs of different things. We've seen signs of a system slowly being put in place. And to beat the Arsenal, who for me, growing up, was our biggest rivals, like Chelsea came a little bit later and stuff like that. They were my biggest rivals. Van Nistelrooy versus Henry, you name it. We had to beat them. Arsene Wenger versus Alex Ferguson. And to go and beat them after they've been talking absolute madness this last week, thinking that we're nobodies, thinking that they're like the next Man City coming through or whatever. Nah, you lot shut your mouth, sit down. Yeah, you lot had to hold some smoke. So big up to Man United in this time, and I'm so happy, Flex, can't even lie. Gassed. Had to bring the Cuban out as well. I do that with
yeah, because the confidence is building, man. That's what we need. I know Marcel's saying obviously the next step is get 10 wins, but essentially he's just it's about building, and it is about continuing to build that confidence. I definitely agree with that bit. Faz, what are you saying, man? Because we're keeping on winning. Yesterday was a big day because Arsenal came there super strong, super confident. You know what I mean? It's funny when they come to Old Trafford when they've been unbeaten and that we always end it. It's simple, but that's what happened again. But we're just slowly cooking.
It feels so good, so good. So good. That smell of Liverpool and Arsenal is so beautiful. Flex.
Is that who's wrapped up in there? Who's in that? Liverpool and Arsenal, yeah?
Let me see. Salah, hey. Diaz, hey.
We're doing burning through players.
Hey. They're all wrapped up in there, Flex. Listen, I'm giddy FC right now. You know how upset, how down I was last season. How much I wanted to see these days. I can't wait to go to Old Trafford. Like, I want to go 3 hours early, 4 hours early, soak up the energy, see my players come off the bus, go inside the changing room, get changed, see them warm up. I'm just a kid again. I'm just a kid at heart, a footballer. I'm just enjoying the moment. And Marcel, yeah, he's infected me. I'm Marcel as well now. I'm infected by him. I'm all positive. I actually think we can go and win the next 3-4 games, no problem. We can do it. We've just beaten Liverpool and Arsenal in a few weeks. What's
that? Including City away, yeah? That is.
I think we can do it. Statman Cam himself believes now that Ronaldo's staying, he's so happy. He's so full of joy. He's so happy from the save David De Gea made. You can see the smile. Look at him. I think we can do it. And look, Ten Hag, he's cooking something. He's building. The great thing is players are improving. McTominay is improving. What? Dallo is improving. What? What is this? So yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very excited.
Cam, I don't want to just always again because I know you're the tactics guy. Like,
tell us about the tactics.
Nah, do you know what? I feel like Cam. You know what? Cam will naturally gravitate towards that area by himself, and the tactical view is coming out. We're actually going to put it out live tomorrow morning because it's come so late. We did do it today, but we're going to put it out tomorrow morning. But so I'm not saying go over everything we did earlier, Cam, because they haven't seen it yet. But just how are you feeling? Because it's interesting that Faz is talking it obviously just from a pure fan bit. Like, I'm just excited to get to Old Trafford. I want to get there early. I want to see the warm-ups. I want to, he just feels excited to go again. Are you getting them vibes or is it still a bit early for you?
No, I'm getting that as well. It's like, I think Leicester on Thursday night, I remember my hotel was, I left my hotel. I was going to go get some food. I walk down the street, look up, and I see this, a big hotel, second floor up. See the entire squad waiting to get on the bus. So I look up and you see Ronaldo, you see Lindelof, you see Maguire was there, De Gea was there. They're all there, but you look up and you see Ronaldo like not that far away from you. You just like, Yeah, that's something I've given him however much stick on these shows and on Tactical View, all that sort of stuff. But when you see these guys and you watch them on the pitch as well, and they start performing like a proper team again, it's just you're excited for every single game now. Right? They work so hard, and we can talk tactics, talk all the other stuff, but now that they're working hard on the pitch again, I want to go and watch them every single week. It's not, I don't get to like the time when United are playing thinking, oh, it's just going to ruin my weekend now. Like, even if we lose, but everyone's giving it 100%, we show something, we look, show a bit of promise. It's okay. The results aren't always going to go our way, but it's exciting to watch them again now. I love it every single time. Like you guys, like you want to see the warm-ups, you want to be there after the game. I mean, Marcel, we were there after the game we're shouting at the United players. I mean, Marcel's screaming at Yuri Tielemans, come to United, come to United. Like,
yeah, you missed that bit out. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that, Owen.
No, that was too funny. We're there by the Leicester players.
Can you enlighten us? What happened? What's happened here then at King Power Stadium then?
Well, after a good performance against, I've obviously had a little word to Tielemans just to let him know there's a vacancy in the 8th spot for us. But
what did he say?
A little word isn't shouting at Yuri Tielemans, by the way. I had a little word with him. Yuri, come to United.
Have you guys seen it? Has anyone seen the video? I think
I haven't seen that.
Me and Kaz both have a video, I think. Or AK does for sure, our friend. But it was a really good game and it was positive vibes. And he was only 25 mil. It's a steal. So just letting him know that there's space here at the club.
Man, like Agent Porridge, Agent Porridge, bro. Agent Porridge is on it.
Agent Marcel, Agent Porridge. Owen, like there's a lot of Faz has spoken about it just then. Cam sort of echoed that about the excitement and buzz about watching United again. Obviously, Marcel definitely feels that way. And we've all said it pretty much there. The boys have. Let us know what you lot are thinking at home. Is it that? Is it that, we're early in this thing with Ten Hag? Of course we are. We're early in the journey, but it's just giving you a good vibe right now.
It is giving us good vibe. I mean, not to be a complete Debbie Downer, I wouldn't get massively carried away because I think that because you could absolutely see United play Palace at the weekend and lose. Of course you could, because we're not totally removed from last season, right? So I won't get too carried away. But
or are we? Or are we though? Or are we totally removed from last season now?
Well, it depends what happens with some of the players, right? It depends what he does. If he doesn't rotate players in the Europa League, which I think he will, but if he didn't, and then you're actually having to put who didn't, no disrespect to the guy, but who didn't completely shit themselves when Harry Maguire came on for 15 minutes?
I swear to you, I actually swear to you, I didn't shit myself. I swear to you, I didn't.
I swear to you, Flex, I did, and I was concerned on stream.
I did.
You can feel it in the stadium.
Yeah, I'm not. The stadium was doing that Maguire. Everyone was doing the Maguire thing. I get like, oh no. All right. I don't know if it's testing it to the manager. I just thought, you know what? He's bringing him on. Last 15 minutes, see it out. That's his role.
That is his role, but it did get chaotic immediately, and you felt it. You felt it get chaotic. And
that's Casemiro's fault.
And there was a bad pass by Casemiro. He looks really rusty, actually, must be said. But with the Maguire, you do see that, and you go, okay, like we are still a couple of steps away from everything just completely being terrible, So I wouldn't get too carried away, and you can't. Whilst they were absolutely a blessing in disguise, those first 2 games in the season, and the manner of it, particularly that Brentford game, I think that was almost the best thing that could happen to United and Erik ten Hag in terms of laying down a marker for the squad, running with the squad, dropping certain players. It was almost like, it was the best thing that happened to him, but we're not totally removed from that yet. And I think one of the most impressive things I will say, though, and a reason that I am optimistic isn't because of necessarily the results, but we have had games now against Liverpool and Arsenal at Old Trafford where not only did we win, but we conceded and we didn't completely collapse. That is what I think is encouraging. Against Liverpool, when we conceded, you thought, oh, here we go, we're going to collapse. We didn't. We held on. Arsenal, it was even worse, really, wasn't it? Because it went back to 1-1. You think, oh, here we go. They're playing really well. And we reacted really, really well. And we made chances. It could have been more than 3-1. Immediately after 2-1, we should have scored, pressing from the front. So I do think there is room to be optimistic. I wouldn't be totally massively ahead of ourselves because just not even outside of United, we've seen results this season have already been quite crazy. you know. So
anything.
I wouldn't get too carried away.
The Man United ones have been because everyone thought we'd lose, including us.
Exactly. But the biggest compliment I can give Ten Hag and the players right now, I said it this morning, is that last season I looked at that squad and went, I don't even like the players. Obviously, the results are rubbish, the football's rubbish, but I don't even like the players. I do see a group of players, and maybe it's because there have been so many outgoings in terms of people leaving on free agents and so many people coming in. But I do look at that group of players and go, you know what? I actually quite like them now. I quite like the group of players. I like the staff that are there as well. And they're trying. As Ten Hag keeps saying, there are standards. He said it before the game. He said it after the game. The reason why we're doing well and winning games is because they're giving 100%. And maybe that's an indictment of where United have been, that we celebrate them giving 100%, but I'm just happy they're doing that.
Yeah, agreed. I'm going to get these super chats out. Steffi Jenks says, big up the full UV panel. Love to everyone. Hit the like button. Big up to Steffi. Always coming through. Shantanu says, Anthony now has the same amount of open play goals as Saka since March 2022. But he is Messi level. Game Fanatic says, anyone love that Anthony scored a Thierry Henry-esque goal against Arsenal of all people for his debut. KG, we win in the league vibes. Shaksar says, we got the dog in us now. The testosterone is testosteroning. I managed to get that one out. Contra says, on the disallowed goal versus Arsenal, if that was Bruno instead of Eriksen, would the goal stand? Honest opinion. Thanks, lads. If that was Bruno, as in what? Because Bruno's got a reputation for kind of going down, would they have maybe not disallowed
he didn't give it anyway, did he?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
So
I think it's just a foul, whoever it is.
They made the right call.
Yeah. Shantanu says, all or nothing season 1 went from 3 losses in the first 3 to almost top 4. Season 2, they will go from 5 wins in the first 5 to relegation. And Mesh says, Ten Hag shadowed Pep at Bayern in his prime, while Arteta was collecting cones from at City. There are levels, bro. And Keegan says, not getting carried away, but I feel the team has shown that they are capable and I can get behind them. Flex, can I get an all right? I haven't got that in me at all.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
To the level of KG, I can just do like I can't do a singing thing. I just have to do just that. All right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yep. All right. It's a little Yardman thing.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah. All right. But can't really do the singing one. I can't disgrace myself. Now, look, for me, I mean, look, and then look, the floor's open after this to talk about players that have been catching your eye and bring what you guys want to bring to the table. So open forum. But for me, I want to start it off, by, and people are probably bored of it already, just the Christian Eriksen thing. I want to have a bit where we talk about Christian Eriksen, please, because this guy, what he's doing, to him's normal. Let's get this straight. To him, it's light work. This is just, he's not even being pushed to the limit right now. He's spotting easy passes that are easy for him. He's playing at the tempo that is easy for him. He's playing at the IQ level that is easy for him. Is Zane in this chat right now?
No, I tell you what, basically, it was brilliant at the weekend, right? In the match views, they equalized and he put a thing in, one of those like super stickers, and it was a pair rolling around like that. And then we scored. And it kind of just vanished.
Yeah, he laughed at us. Big up Zayn Miasi. Hopefully he's in the cup. But Christian Eriksen, I'm saying is the signing of the summer. For us.
Because in the Prem as well? Is he in that conversation?
I mean, obviously, you've got to be in the conversation because of the way he's transformed the team that he plays for, the impact that he's had at the team. So you can say Jesus is up there for Arsenal. Obviously, Haaland is that thing. You can talk about Richarlison doing his thing at Spurs. Now he's even starting Ola Kulusevski, so you can argue that's, he's done his thing. Cool. But Christian Eriksen was for free. Basically, that means he was a man off the street. That means he's a man of the street.
Not really.
We had to pay him a lot of money.
Yeah.
We paid a guy off the street a lot of money.
A lot of money. But you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone was laughing, saying, "Oh, you got a 30-year-old. He's not even the best Eriksen anymore. He's from Brentford. What type of impact is he going to have?" And he's had a fantastic impact. The way our midfield plays now is completely different because of him. He's elevating people's game like Bruno and McTominay without people realizing, for me. Yeah. Yes, Malacia is amazing. Yes, Martinez is amazing. Spent a lot of money on him. I'm sure Anthony will be amazing. Spent a hell of a lot of money on him. So I'm not dissing those guys' impact, but for the value of paying no transfer fee for a player having this much impact, starting almost all the games. He started all the games, Eriksen. Started every single one. Now, I know the first two are nothing to write home about, especially the second, but it shows the manager's faith in him that the constant throughout 5 games, whether it's been our asses are down and our confidence is down and I need people in there to get us back up, he's been ever present. So that shows you what Erik ten Hag thinks about him as a signing as well. He's played every minute.
Yeah, he's been integral. He's been integral. Obviously, there's no De Jong, so we always needed someone in the middle of the park to be able to sort of like feed the front line. And some of the passes that he's hit through the lines, man, like some of them have been exquisite passes, like top of the range. And if he was at any other top side, we wouldn't see enough of it. But because it's United, it'll get downplayed for a bit. But you're right, Flex. I think the impact that he's had on this starting 11, and especially players like Bruno and our front players, they know they're going to receive the ball in dangerous areas. I think it's a few times now where he's played the pass just before the assist. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He's really important to what Ten Hag's trying to cook up at the moment.
Martin said it there. He's the pass before the pass, and that's
there
very,
you go.
very important.
There you go.
Yeah, agreed. Contra says, Zane, stop watching. Replying, hoping scoreline change. Yeah, exactly. Ain't gonna change, mate. Ain't gonna change. And Wob, is that Wobo? Wobo says Eriksen was and is brilliant. Football IQ is top class, and his range of passing unlocks cheat codes. And Limania 44 says Rashford introduced himself in England to the expense of Arsenal. His revitalization is on the expense of the Arsenal again. Faz, talk to me about Marcus Rashford. Because if I just lay it out, it's 5 games, 3 goals, 2 assists. Obviously, the first 2 games was horrendous for everyone, but what's going on there? Talk to me about Rashford.
No, numbers are great. Numbers can get you carried away. We see Statman Cam with numbers all the time. But look, there is a serious need for Rashford to be performing at a certain level for us this season. Because with Martial being out, with Ronaldo only coming in, in second half, off the ball, there is a lot more that Rashford can do. I give him a lot of credit this season, especially after yesterday. I'm going to give him a lot of credit because you have to be level-headed to be able to put the ball past Ramsdale. Because if he misses that, boy, oh boy, he gets slaughtered, absolutely slaughtered. Throughout the game as well, before he scored, the fan base were shouting at him. Well, where I was sat anyways, a lot of the fans were shouting at him, saying he wasn't doing much off the ball. He wasn't chasing the ball. He wasn't.
That was happening in my section as well. It's weird, isn't it? That's happening in all the games he's playing. There's moments of the game where you're like, oh, come on, Rashford, man. Like, oh, Rashford. Then it's like, oh, we got an assist. Oh,
so I think just that little bit, if he addresses that and fixes that, which I'm sure Ten Hag will work with him, I'm going to be okay. I think he's definitely working towards something. You could see after he scored, you could see after the assist as well. Like that assist was exquisite. Like, let's be real. That the weight of the pass for him to turn few players and find Anthony straight away, them celebrating. I even saw when Rashford came off, Ten Hag and Rashford had quite a bit of conversation. Ten Hag rubbing his head a bit. You can see that the manager's building a relationship with his player. There's a trust there. We all want to see him shine. We all want to see him do well. And we know he had a terrible time with his injury, but there's still just a little bit more to take us to that next level. To be able to say, you know what, Martial, you're not reliable. That's fine. Ronaldo, you're only going to come on second half, but we've got a player that we can rely on who will give us 20 plus goals in a season, who will be dangerous and defenders will fear when he's on the pitch. We just need that little edge. Anthony, I have that. I know he's just had only first half he's played, but I can tell he's fresh. He's going to prove a lot. He can beat a few man. We've seen the same thing with Sancho a little bit as well. What is that little edge that he's missing? So I'm hoping he can bring that. And maybe it's just they've had a little slow start to the season. And as games progress, as they play in Europe and domestic cups and other league games, they'll do well. But yeah, there's just a slight little bit to go, but he's there.
Anyone else? Feel free, jump in.
I would say Rashford, he's offering us something different, guys. I mean, he breaks lines with his runs. He's the only one that really does it. Sancho doesn't do it enough for me. Hopefully we can see more of it from Anthony. And obviously, we know Martial's just got brilliant link-up play. It's just like you're saying. I agree with Faz. He needs to do a bit more in terms of off-the-ball, proactive football. That's what we want from Ten Hag. And he needs to be a bit more proactive, especially as how Bruno is always trying to run straight out past the forward line and press goalkeeper and centre-backs. You kind of want him to understand that and give good combinations with Rashford. Come and help, with Rashford, sorry, and help him out. With Bruno, sorry, and help him out. But I don't know. He scores in big games. He looks like he's a big game player. Liverpool scored, Arsenal scored. So we're hoping to rely on him for big games this season.
I just want to say as well, just to add, one of the goals actually came. I don't want to say it came because of Ronaldo, but Ronaldo was pressing, which made the Arsenal player give the ball away, which then started the whole attacking process. That's one. And on top of that, Ronaldo was pressing Ramsdale, and Ramsdale ended up giving the ball away. Irony is Ramsdale, not that
when Bruno had a shot
the ball
on it,
away. Yeah, and Fred collects the ball, gives it to Bruno. Bruno could have given it. So you see Ronaldo doing, accepting his role, and certain things like that I'd like to see from Rashford as well.
I think with Rashford as well, I think he's affecting the game centrally as well. I think, there's a lot made of him playing up front, being a striker. Can he do it? He doesn't have the link-up play as like a Martial. But I think what he's always going to offer you is kind of what Marcel is, that threat of the running of the pace. If you get him centrally running at those defenders, they don't like it. And now we have someone like Eriksen who can link up well with Bruno in the final third. The ball's going to come through a lot of the time for him. So, it limits kind of his decision making when he's on through and goal. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, he's doing well.
He's better on the left though. He's far more effective on the left. I think he's done a good job in the last few games when he's been up front. I know that there's been some report that he said to Ten Hag, "I want to play up front. I prefer to play up front." Yeah. When Anthony Martial was back, he's on the left. He's playing on the left.
100%.
And I think obviously he's got a couple of assists from playing up front. But I think really that's almost what Ten Hag wants from his striker, isn't he? He said it after the Southampton game. He wants his striker to be a point. Basically, he wants his striker to hold up the ball, make space for the wingers, and then feed it to the wingers, like the Anthony goal. The Anthony goal is essentially exactly what Ten Hag wants. Yeah. How many passes were made in that move? Something like 18, 19, 20 passes. Comes to the striker, holds up, brings the fullback in, gives space to the winger, goal. That's what Ten Hag wants. Rashford did well for that goal, but in the second half, he got 2 goals because he's playing out left when Ronaldo was up front, because Ronaldo's a better point, because he's a better striker, clearly, than Marcus Rashford. But Faz mentioned about Ronaldo pressing when he came on. The issue is that Ronaldo can't do that for 90 minutes. He can't. He can't do that role for 90 minutes, which is why he's rotation Ronaldo at the moment. That's why when Martial's back, as I mentioned, Martial would be the striker. And then suddenly you've got competition on that left-hand side because it's Rashford or Sancho. And at the moment, Sancho's going to be on the bench because Marcus Rashford is in form. So, I mean, I guess that opens up the conversation a little bit about Jadon Sancho, because I thought he was quite quiet yesterday. I don't know what everyone else thinks.
I thought it was very quiet.
Yeah,
I thought it was very quiet. Yeah,
super quiet. He could have done a lot more for us, but he's had good moments throughout this season. I just feel like, again, we want someone dynamic, breaking lines. Like we said, the team's got weapons. We've got different players that have different types of attributes, but I 100% agree with you. I mean, Rashford is the guy that breaks lines and scores goals from that left-hand side. Right now, Sancho's not really doing that enough. And I think he will come into his own throughout the season. It's just, we have to give him a bit more time to just perform a little bit better. Maybe it's got to be more production in terms of assists and goals for him.
I think one thing I'll say on Sancho, I think Sancho needs a target man for him to kind of come out of his shell and find the rhythm in the game. One of the things you all know, I've had a thing with Sancho saying that his off the ball defensive work needs to be better. It's as simple as that. It just needs to be better. You see,
I don't know the words you used, were they?
Yeah, but it can be. But
what was the words
all right, okay. You want me to put it straight? He doesn't last 90 minutes. He doesn't last 90 minutes. His DNA makeup doesn't make him last 90 minutes. He starts fading in the game. He starts fading by the 65th minute.
For me, he's a bit soft. For me, he is a bit soft.
You can say soft as well, but look at the challenge. Look at the challenges Anthony made on certain players, and look at the challenges Sancho makes on certain players. Guess what? Sancho doesn't make challenges as hard as, for example, Anthony did in 45 minutes. Rashford actually makes some good challenges as well. Why can't Sancho do that? A lot of the times you'll see Sancho just go like this, let the player slide off his chest or slide off him and just run with the ball. He did that with Saka. He did that with the midfielders. He needs to be a bit more aggressive. That's all I'm asking for.
I agree with that in terms of the tenacity of the kid. Like, the hardest I've actually seen him work was the Liverpool game. Ironically, the one where you cussed him the most, because I thought that game he was actually getting back into position really quick. He was engaging the opposition fullbacks. From how I saw it, I thought he was part of a well-oiled machine that where our whole team got back into position very well. And by and large, I think that he understands the shape and goes to where he needs to go. But once he's in position, he doesn't engage like the others do. So Rashford has that natural hunger to maybe even though we're asking him to do it even more, but a natural hunger to kind of go and press. Bruno possesses that dog to go and press. Even Eriksen's doing it. Obviously, Scott McTominay would do it all day. And then you look on the right-hand side, and I get that thing about a little bit too nice. I do get that. And then with the ball, like I said, Jadon's never going to be a winger that just gets the ball and attacks his opposite number and gets past them. Like, you look at how Saka and Martinelli was yesterday. There was a time in the first half when I think Saka got the ball. I think Malacia went so tight to him. And he still just wriggled around.
Skimmed him.
Just went. Martinelli possesses that same type of ability, where, you're going to give the right back a tough game. Like Dalot and Malacia, although they did really well, they left that game yesterday and saying, fucking hell, mate, them boys are good. Yeah. But I feel like any right back coming up against Jadon is more fearful when there's other Man United players around Jadon that he can work with versus just a one-on-one situation.
Yeah, he's got
a
couple of signature moves. He's got a couple signature moves. He'll bounce the ball off the striker. He'll bounce it. He'll either do the overlap, or bounce it off the striker.
Players around him. He hasn't got that raw ability to just beat him, man. Yeah. I don't see it.
But then, in fairness, I know I brought it up, but in this sort of winning run, he has scored twice.
Yeah,
we forget that he scored the winning goal against Leicester. He scored the opening goal against Liverpool, and it's composure. And again, it's weighing that up, isn't it, between the sort of work rate or lack thereof, or what he can do versus what he can't do.
That's why Ten Hag's an amazing manager, though.
What he can do is that the goals he scored were two goals that had so much composure. Rounds the goalkeeper, one, time on the ball, puts the keeper and the defender on his ass and just rolls it into the net. But in games like yesterday, where maybe you do need a bit more speed or you do need a bit more dynamism, maybe a game like that isn't the game for him.
Agreed.
But then he did well against Liverpool, which I thought was a somewhat similar game. So it's a difficult one, but they're good. They're good problems to have if you're Ten Hag. If you're saying, Rashford or Sancho, maybe Sancho's a little bit slow, but he did score twice. And then you go Rashford, but he's scoring goals and getting assists as well. These are good issues to have that we have not had for the last 12 months or so, right?
True.
Players are scoring. Which one do I play?
Yeah, exactly. And I think bringing in Anthony to that as well just adds that extra dynamic, because that was my thing with Anthony. I'm saying to you guys and talking to other Man United fans, because I don't profess to know everything about him, talk to the We Talk Ajax guys a lot. And I'm saying, is he direct? Can he get past people? Is he aggressive? And all of the tick boxes and all the answers to that is yes. And from what I saw for 60 minutes yesterday, first game, it looks like he possesses that. And that's going to give us a different dynamic up front for sure.
Yeah, I think all I was going to say is Sancho definitely, at times his game marked by two players as well. And he needs that support. He needs us Sancho and Martial would work really well. It would. Sancho and Ivan Toney would work really well. Right? He needs players like that around him. And with Rashford in the middle, it doesn't work the best. You saw exactly how we unlock Rashford. And Rashford, Sancho, and Elanga, for example, or Anthony, it doesn't benefit Sancho a lot of the times. And he tucks in as well a lot of the times. And when he tucks in, he's not got a shot on him that he's going to take a shot on from outside the box as well. So this is a little bit more to do. And I think over the next window, we need to get some forwards in. And I think Sancho will flourish then. And also, another key factor is Sancho starts the season slow. If you go and look at his seasons in Dortmund, if you go and analyze that, he always starts his season slow. It takes him about a month and a half, 2 months, 3 months into the season, and he starts firing. So
that's what I mean. This is a slow start. He scored twice in the last 4 games.
Already.
He only scored 4 last year as well, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so he is slowly cooking. I just think I'm not that concerned about it because of the manager that we have. I just think that he understands the type of players that he has and gets the best out of them.
Yeah, I'm seeing improvements though, guys. I'm seeing him now, maybe attack the box a little bit more than he actually did last season. He's getting into those areas where he can be on the end of assists and the end of passes to finish. So he's going to be, and I think maybe that's something that Ten Hag's trying to drill into him to do that more, to get in the box a bit more instead of hugging a touchline for 90 minutes, get involved in the play. So yeah, the early signs are okay. Like 2 goals, as Owen said, 2 goals already. And, this front line is going to be rotating and flourishing. If we can get a target man, then, we'll see the best of him.
I think that's a huge point, just the target man thing. But just quickly on rotation, Ronaldo, what do we think for him on Thursday? Is that
he starts? Yeah, he starts.
He plays.
He's got to play. He can't tell Ten Hag I ain't playing in it. He has to play that game.
Yeah, he has to play.
He has to.
And that
everyone else is tired as well. He has to play.
Yeah. And Casemiro and Fred should start as well, I'm guessing.
But that for me, guys, it just shows the level that the manager is, the respect that he commands from these players. That you've got somebody of Ronaldo's caliber humbled and on the bench playing in Europa League, something that we didn't think would happen. But like you guys say, like he has to play. So
it's ironic that what Ronaldo wanted to leave because we're not in the Champions League, don't want to play Europa League, and now that's the only thing he can start in.
No, he never wanted to leave. He never wanted to leave. Those were all false news. Oh
yeah. Well, wherever this interview comes out now as well. Now we stayed. We'll wait and see what happens there. But yeah, exactly. Like you said, if you talk about Ronaldo, sometimes the real Ronaldo people come for you, and you can't state things he's never said and all that stuff. But let's get, like you said, we know he didn't. The aspirations of the club aren't here. But if you look at it, Cam, going forward, I mean, let's look at our Europa League team. Let's look at Thursday night. This is a different kind of setup for Ten Hag. We played a lot of games in a short space. That Thursday night to Sunday night was a real quick turnaround for a lot of our players. You saw them going down with cramp and stuff like that. He's got to make full cell changes. But our second team to come in, me and Owen were talking about it today. That's a flipping good Europa League team that's going to be coming in, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. But for me, the more important thing than the players is the characteristics of the team, because we've seen what's taken us really from the Brentford game and the Brighton game to where we are now is, yeah, you can talk about Eriksen being a great player, but what's changed us is the attitude. It's been contagious from Martinez, from Malacia, just getting stuck in, going and being aggressive all the time. And it's spread throughout the rest of the team. Dallow's aggressive now, McTominay is more aggressive. The forwards are pressing a lot more as well, and things are starting to look up. So the question, the big test for me on Thursday is, are Maguire and Shaw, are they prepared to do the work that Malacia and Martinez are doing? Are they prepared to be as aggressive? Are the players that come in front of them, are they going to do the same work that the first choice lot are doing? Because what you want to see, what the best teams have, if you want to be able to rotate and change things, is it can be different players, but the game plan should be pretty similar. The principles of play are pretty similar. Even if maybe the shape's slightly different to accommodate certain players, the overall principles have to be pretty similar. Like, you can't be changing things wholesale every week, like we were under Solskjaer. You can't build a sustainable team on that. But if we can try and look fairly similar principles wise, it's okay. But the big question is, like we saw when Maguire came on, pretty much straight away, he doesn't. When someone drops, when like Jesus or whoever's dropping deep to try and sort of get on the ball,
he don't want to be
Maguire
there.
doesn't want to follow him, and that's not really Varane's game. Varane's better covering. So straight away, that's a really different, a big difference in the style. I think Lindelof for Varane's not too big of a problem. Like, Lindelof's a bit slower and probably not quite as good in the air, but in terms of composure, calmness, reading of the game, probably a better passer as well.
If Varane got injured tomorrow, touch wood, he doesn't. I'm having Lindelof next to Martinez.
I'll be fine with that if Lindelof comes in. That's fine.
Touch wood, he doesn't.
The other one. But let's hope he doesn't get injured.
Yeah, exactly. How are you seeing it, Owen, for Thursday night? Because it is actually a massive test, because although we can say, like, yeah, the team looks good, you're going to have Casemiro, Ronaldo and all that. And, I don't know if Donny's going to be fit because, I've only picked up a little bit of an injury. But
injured, yeah.
Yeah. But the second team, you're looking at, Luke Shaw in a second string. Harry Maguire still 85 million, even though he shouldn't be. He still is. Lindelof.
Think about it. Our back four that will be playing in that game was like our starting back four pretty much last season. Yeah. Take out Varane, basically. It basically was. It's Luke Shaw, it's Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka. That was meant to be our great back four that was going to do great in the league last season, right? It's starting in Europa League only like 12 months later. And again, you look at the players that are involved in it. Casemiro should start. Fred, they start for Brazil. They're in the Europa League. Ronaldo's going to be starting up front. You would think the wingers would probably be Alanga, maybe it is Anthony again because
Anthony should start,
for more minutes or something like that.
Start,
but still, like that's a strong team. that's a strong team for a Europa League group stage game. Now I know a lot of people talking about like Europa League, or are we going to win it this season? The Europa League is such a strange competition because you get through the group stage, but then you have no idea who's going to come in from the Champions League. And that gets changed completely. Or, I mean, look who won it last season. Look at the final last season of the second biggest European competition was Rangers versus Frankfurt. Yeah. Like that's wild when you think about it. It's a difficult competition to predict. But I think that I would hope Ten Hag rotates, we're saying like 10 players, realistically, including the goalkeeper as well. I'd want to see Dubravka start as well. See what he's about. Right? Not that he's going to be United's first team goalkeeper, but see what he's about. And I said it on the morning show, and some people said, you can't rotate the whole team. Like, what if it don't work? What if this, that, and the other? But I agree with Cam. I want to see it. I don't know if I will see it. I want to see that same kind of commitment and energy and passion. But will we see it? I'd love to.
There should be no. If these players want their places back,
yeah.
If you're Luke Shaw, and you've been sitting on the bench for 4 straight games and you ain't kicked a ball. Or was it 5 straight? 4 straight games, right? If you've been sitting on the bench for 4 straight games, watching this young kid Malacia just making you eat the bench, like you're not even coming on for like 10 minutes because the kid's run his heart out and you can see out the last 10 minutes. Like the guy's on his ass, running around like a blue ass fly, locking off fullbacks, blowing out of his ass, and Ten Hag's still saying, "You're right, Luke. He'll be fine. He'll get through to the end of it." Harry Maguire, all right, cool, fair enough. You come on 15 minutes yesterday. If you're him, if you're Fred, do you know what I mean? Who started the first couple of games and you ain't been seen since Brentford, and you're seeing your mate Casemiro come in now, and even he ain't started in 3 games. If you're seeing that and you should be saying, bro, you know what? This manager's serious, I need to give him something to think about. When it comes to Europa League nights, I need to literally make him think I'm capable of doing the job that these other guys have been brought in to do. I mean, Wan-Bissaka, comes on for 8 minutes against Liverpool just to hack the thing clear and stuff like that. But again, if these guys got aspirations to play under this manager, they got to really show it. They've got to really,
audition
really
time,
show it in this
Flex.
game.
It's audition time. Literally, it's audition time. There are going to be some players that think that they deserve to be in the starting 11. Your Ronaldos, your Casemiros. But at the end of the day, it's down to these players to show Ten Hag that they can keep up with the intensity of the other 11, because that's ultimately what it's going to come down to, the intensity. And you know what? I want there to be full-scale changes because I want our first 11 to have a rest, because they work so hard and we need them fresh for the next game. So players like Casemiro, it's for them to get up to speed, get minutes. Anthony the same, Ronaldo the same. And then players like Fred and, Wan-Bissaka and your Maguires of this world, it's for them to try and prove that they can even get into that first 11, because right now there's no space for them.
And for the first time in a while as well, we've got someone who's actually managing the players right. Like McTominay's been playing really, really well. So he said, I'm going to reward you. I'm not just going to bring in a big name for the sake of it. You're playing well. You keep going. We'll build some partnerships, build relationships, build a unit that works well together. He's found a team that works, especially a backline that works, and he's stuck with it. He's not... The only change he's really made is Anthony, and the attack weren't really scoring that many before he came in.
Yeah, it's an easy change.
Whoever was playing on the right was playing that well before anyway. So the rest of that, he's rewarded good performances. We've not had that for ages. I mean, look at what Solskjaer was doing in terms of team. Like he promised Henderson he'd play after his good run. Never seen again because he got COVID. It's some of the other stuff as well. Like he was making
Varane was out for weeks, and he literally brought back way too early. He got injured again. I put him back in. Put him back in. Don't worry about it, mate.
Exactly. We've got a proper man manager.
That's a massive thing. Yeah, let's talk about Ten Hag a little bit, because I just want to talk about some of the things that have really impressed me since he's been here in this short time. Is obviously like the discipline and laying down the law. That's the main thing. We saw that from early, but actually, I think tactically, he's made a couple of mistakes, but how quickly he learned from the mistakes was impressive, because I know it's easy to look at that game against Brentford and goes, well, of course you've got to make X, Y changes, but the right ones, and just even in-game management as well. Like, look at yesterday. The time he brought on Ronaldo was the right time. The time he brought on Fred was the right time to bring on Fred. Yes, we can all sigh and, oh my God, it's Harry Maguire, but the time to do it was then. Malacia was Martinez was, getting tired and he's been playing at aggressive level. And, I just think I just like what he's doing and listening to him speak after the games and hear him not get too carried away. I love that. Yeah, it can be better. This can be better. We had some good moments. We had some good transitions. But if we would have focused I think it was it against Leicester? I think he might have said it against both. I think it was against Arsenal. If we relaxed in the final third and stuff and played the extra pass, we could have been even better. So he knows they're not there yet, but he's just getting them to just buy in. I just love what he's doing early doors.
I think one of the words he used when he was speaking to Roy Keane and that after the game, he said that he demands. He said, "I demand that there be a level. I demand there be standards." And you can really see now. I think that's what's got us all excited, that the players are actually buying what he's saying. They're living and sleeping and eating Manchester United as players, and we can see it on the pitch. You know what I mean? And the players that have been left out, they weren't really showing that level of application. So now it's gonna. I think Thursday's a boost for them. Can they bring their levels up as well? So it's just exciting time, man.
I just really like how he's utilising the bench. Sorry, Owen, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I think he's been really shrewd. I think sometimes with managers from other countries or other leagues, they have their philosophies, their principles, and irrespective of results, this is how I play, doesn't matter. Players have just got to get it, and the players got to understand it, then results will pick up. And he realised that I don't have time to do that. In an ideal world, I'd play the exact same football I was playing at Ajax. In an ideal world, I'd play the football we were playing in pre-season, but we're losing, and we're losing badly. And I've seen what's happened to other managers in the past that have tried to implement their system, or the players haven't bought in. They're gone very quickly. And let's face it, we all worried. We all worried in those first two games. We thought, here we go, Eric 10 weeks, Eric 10 minutes. Now, how long is he going to stick around for? And he's tweaked some things. He's gone, okay, playing out from the back. You don't have to do it that much. Do it if you want. You don't have to do it that much. Pressing, I wish you would do it, but let's just get defensively solid first. Let's stop conceding goals, and then we'll figure everything else back up. And I think yesterday was a great example of that. You had a manager that, granted, Arteta's been there for 3 years, and the players understand what he wants, understand his patterns of play, but he didn't adapt yesterday. Steadfast. He could have tweaked some things when he saw United were going more direct, but he didn't. And Eric Ten Hag, after that game against Brentford, went, right, first of all, I'm running the players on the hottest day of the year, and bear in mind, I'm doing it with them. I'm doing it with them just so that I'm involved in this as well. I pick the team. The buck stops with me, so I'm doing it with you because it was a mistake on my part. I'm dropping certain players that aren't good enough or aren't giving enough, and also I'm tweaking some things tactically because either you can't do it, you won't do it, and also I want to win games. So I think he deserves a ton of credit because it is not easy to galvanize a group of players that legitimately have not run for 18 months. They had not run for 18 months. They didn't care for 18 months. And suddenly for him to somehow turn it around and get them to outrun teams and outwork teams, that's what we're seeing, really. Quality be damned. We're seeing Manchester United outwork teams. Liverpool, we outran them. I don't know what the running stats are for the games after that, but I would assume it's probably pretty close. We outworked them. And he deserves so much credit for that because with the personalities that he has, and granted, he's been backed in the transfer market. Make no mistake, he's been backed. Like over 200 million spent.
Of course.
He's been backed. But to get those players to buy in, I think if they hadn't bought in, they're starting to now because they're going, hey, we beat Liverpool. We beat Arsenal. Arsenal are good this season. We beat them 3-1. This manager's got something about him. And you can see that by even Roy Keane. Roy Keane, he don't kiss managers' ass after the game. He loves Eric Ten Hag. You see the way he's looking at him.
He never kisses anyone ass. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
He loves Eric. So that's, again, we're talking about positivity earlier on in the show. Those are reasons to be positive. We talk about Eriksen, the signing of the summer. Realistically, signing of the summer is Eric Ten Hag. He's the one. He's the one for Manchester United. And everyone just got to buy in.
Yeah, he's the number one manager for us, guys. And for me, I just like the way that he's utilizing the bench as well. When we're locking off games now, when you see Casemiro coming, I'm thinking, yep, it's tighter now. With Fred coming on at the right times, he's making the right decision, the right calls at the right time. Now it's just about rotation, but there's still another level to go. These are not all Ten Hag's players, guys. So we still need to see him go into the market, hopefully in January, and get the right kind of fit when we see that there's a bit of issues. I don't think that this is completely. They will revert back to type at times. If there's an injury, he has to go and play somebody that Maguire has to learn things. He has to be looking at that back two and learn and replicate what they're doing and see if he can add his own spin on it as well. Because if we get a couple injuries, we might be in a bit of an issue.
I'm just going to get some super chats out. Shafiq Q says, I was scared when Maguire came on. He would have injured Varane. I was scared as hell. How can you be so calm, Flex? As Marcel says, because just trust in the manager. Trust in the manager, you know. I just thought it's the last 15 minutes. He's just going to get his head on things and be ugly and clear the ball and see us out. And he did. He did. He gets the yellow card straight away, but that's Casemiro, man. He came straight on, gave the ball away. Yeah. What's Harry Maguire going to do one-on-one against Jesus? It's 100%. Bring him down. Don't you risk anything. Bring him down. It's a good foul. But yeah, I think the whole anxiety just came on when Maguire came on and stuff. But I was all right.
When Anthony and McTominay two-footed each other.
Yeah, and it was actually a good tackle at the beginning, and then they just typical. McTominay's running around doing the madness. The mania says Rashford introduced. Oh, no, I've read that one. Game Fanatic says Eriksen and Bruno is what we wanted Pogba to be. Cardo says I'm super happy, guys. Don't forget that Ten Hag said it's just the beginning. Keep the same energy when we have setbacks. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Because I think, in contrast to Marcel saying our next thing is to get 10 wins. There are going to be tough games. You know, we might not beat Crystal Palace. So that doesn't mean that it's all fake and the progress hasn't been there. Yeah. Along this journey, it's going to be tough. We're going to have so many ups and downs. We started off with the 2 worst downs you could possibly get, and we couldn't feel any lower. And now look at the highs we're having after 4 games. That's just going to be this season. So 100%. I agree with that. We've got to keep the same energy whenever there's a setback, because there will be inevitably at some point. Peter says Eriksen is doing the Frankie de Jong role, and this is why we turn to Casemiro for balance. Owen, can you start pronouncing Eriksen the way that the Danes and the Dutch do?
I'll have a look.
Yeah, get onto it.
I'll get back to you. I'll do it now. I'll have a look now.
Yeah. And Deal says Rashford played better when he was on the left and was running onto the ball. Ronaldo even pressed better than him, but his overall output yesterday was great. Agreed. CeeLo says we really miss Martial's link-up play. He holds up the ball so well. 100% agree with that, CeeLo. Keegan says not having it. Sancho was the pass before the assist. He was. Got the ball off Bruno, made sure he gave it to Rashford again, making good decision in that moment. Probably a little bit quiet other than that, but again, had a goal involvement. So, yeah, I hear you there, Keegan. And Dill says Sancho was the pass before the pass yesterday. Also, he tracks back better than Rashford. Also, he has scored in 2 games this season, the same as Rashford. So, basically saying, look, less of the Sancho, microscope, really, I suppose, saying give him a bit of an easier time. Shalil Patel says Eriksen in training to Anthony and Sancho. You kids and your tricks. Watch this ball that takes out 5 players like Scholes and Ronaldo. Yeah, I can see him being like that. Just watch this. And Noam de Guerre says I'm still new, so forgive me for this if this is dumb. But with this hold-up play and passing ability, is he a better substitute at number 9 than Rashford? Do you mean Sancho?
Yeah, I think he does.
I think you mean Sancho. Listen, your opinion's not dumb. No one's opinion's dumb. Well, it depends who says it. Sometimes if Faz says something or if Marcel says something, it might be a bit, you know what I mean? But listen, you can always have your say on here, bro. So don't worry about that. Can he play number 9? False 9?
I think he's had some good involvements. I mean, the goal was it against Leicester or was it last week against Southampton? The goal came from Sancho playing in the number 9 role. And we've seen a few times Ten Hag's telling him from the sidelines, look, for the next 5 minutes, you go play up front as the point, because he can hold the ball better, he can link up better than Rashford can, and sometimes it can drag players out of position. It's not, I think it's not out of the question we see Sancho playing centrally soon. It could even be in the number 10 role, replacement for Bruno in some games. But yeah, he could be a 9 possibly as a sub if we haven't got another one.
Scott Kelt says they've got some earplugs for Ronaldo so he doesn't hear the Europa League music. Yeah, he's walking out with his old school Sony Walkman playing the Champions League theme tune on the Walkman.
They just dub it over. It'll be fine.
Liam House says, do you think Benny McCarthy has had an influence on the strikers since he joined? I don't know. It's hard to say.
You saw him there, though. You saw him there.
Yeah, he looks
hands-on. All of the players like to see him after the game, didn't they? I mean, it's after a win, but he was there greeting the players as they went into the tunnel. Look, if the people are happy and, and their
coaches are playing a part, isn't it?
That's a good thing. That's what we can do.
Yeah, I don't think we can take it away from any of the coaches. McLaren and Mitchell van der Gaag and even Eric Ramsey is still there and whoever else is part of it. If the players are playing well,
he needs to leave this club.
Why? What's he done to you? What did he? What's
what are we doing in set pieces though? What's happened to set pieces?
Yeah, there's two sides to set pieces, though, Faz. There's defending them and attacking them. Granted, I see your point you're making about attacking them.
We need to do better.
We do better defending them.
Also, that's not been his job for about a year and a half. He got moved to like individual player development coach. Yeah, so he's not even doing set pieces now. So
no, he isn't. But whoever's doing set pieces,
so why does he need to do
it? I don't think he's got the quality to be a Manchester United coaching role, development role. I don't really think so.
But what do you know about
on what basis are you?
Because when he got brought in, he had no experience to be brought in as a set piece coach. Anyways, when he was brought in, he was
a Chelsea coach. He was a Chelsea coach, was he not?
Yeah, he was how long? Chelsea Academy. He's one of the youngest pro license.
For how long? He didn't. No. And you saw what happened in our set pieces.
Yes. You were bouncing around all over this topic.
Hold on. You saw what happened in our set pieces.
Doing some crazy gymnastics here. I give you a 10. I give you a 10.
But what happened with our set pieces last season? Go on, tell me.
I'm with you. We did scoring. It wasn't good, but also defensively, didn't we go from bottom of conceding set pieces to like second or third in the league?
Yeah, we went up massively. And to be fair as well, how many times have you said play the kids or play a youth player? Eric Ramsey, in terms of coaching, is like he's supposed to be one of the hottest property in terms of a young coach. Like, why is that different for coaches?
No, not having it. I'm not having it.
I can tell you're not having it. But it's nonsense.
Right.
It's nonsense.
We've just.
I can tell you're not having it, but it's nonsense, man. It's nonsense.
It's not. No, it's not. It's not because
it is.
Because no, it's not because Ronaldo, who's one of the best headers in the world, couldn't get a goal in from set pieces enough times that we needed to. We had Harry Maguire playing last season, who needed to be better in set pieces, and he couldn't get us a goal. And
but again, you're looking at one side of it. You're looking at one side of it. You're looking at one. I'm with you from a attacking point of view, but also we defended them better. And to Cam's point, halfway through the season, he wasn't even doing set pieces anymore, and Ralph Rangnick was doing something else. And he's doing something else now. And we're doing well. So can you not give him credit?
I do not believe he has the qualities to be in Manchester United.
Based on what?
List.
Based on what?
He doesn't. Based on last season. Based on last season. He doesn't. But the thing is, the crazy thing is, when I was saying this last season, you lot didn't say this then. But because his position got changed now,
there were points last season. There was points because we raised the same point of this.
He doesn't do anything. He sets the cones out. For God's sake, he doesn't do anything.
What proof? I have no idea.
What proof? You see him in training.
Is that? Again, you're just saying things now. You're just saying stuff.
He sets the cones out. No. There's better set piece coaches than that. We've got huge players who could be much more.
Name one.
Name a set piece coach. We're not doing anything.
Name a set piece.
We're not getting goals from set pieces. We haven't been since last season. We're not doing good enough.
But are we conceding goals from set pieces?
We're not good enough.
And he's not on them anymore. He's not even on set pieces.
Faz, the sin bin hasn't been in play for a long time, but a lot of people are calling for it.
I don't believe in it. Listen, you can argue the defensive point, but my argument is the attacking point. Simple.
I'm going for Faz, man. You're all right, big man. Bro.
You can argue the attacking point. You can argue the defensive point. I'm arguing the attacking point. That's all it is.
He doesn't do that job anymore and hasn't done for a long time.
He doesn't do it now.
And where did you bring that up from? We were talking about positive coaches, and you went, Eric Ramsey should leave, even though we're winning games at the moment, which he is actively involved in. Was he or was he not on the touchline at the weekend?
Just like I believe Luke Shaw should leave, even though he's holding bench. Just like I think Harry Maguire should leave.
I also saw. Since you're saying about people leaving, I also saw you say Anthony Martial should leave.
Anthony Martial should leave 100%, 100 million%. A player that isn't available, who's holding bench, should be leaving.
But you wanted Eric Bailly to stay.
Yes, because when he was fit, he didn't get the minutes. When he was fit, he didn't get the minutes
because he can't. Because he gets hurt. Oh, sorry.
Right. Well, we can't play at Martial because he'll get hurt. Will he not? We can't play Martial because it's in Ten Hag's head already that he's going to get hurt. He's been hurt 2 times in the space of 2 months.
You need a yellow card first still.
How? He's been hurt 2 times in 2 months.
Yellow card still, man. Yellow card.
He's been hurt 2 times in 2 months. Make it make sense.
Out. Jesus.
Eric Bailly is not reliable, though. He's not.
So Martial is.
He's been more reliable than Bailly.
And stretching his quads out against Liverpool game, he got injured. He stretched his quads and he got injured. So he's reliable.
You asked Faz one question. What about this other player that wasn't even involved in the question? Every time.
No, answer my question then. No, we're gonna deep dive. Answer my question. He stretched his calves and his quads and he got injured. Did he not?
What about Marcel Faz's great performance yesterday?
Yeah.
I'm talking about Martial. Did Martial not get injured after
Yeah, but no, it doesn't matter about Martial because Marcus Rashford.
Oh, does it? It doesn't matter now. Oh, it doesn't matter when the point is proven. It doesn't matter.
But the point was, again, do you not see the double standard of I want Eric Bailly to stay, but he's never. But then you go, but he never plays, and you go, oh yeah, I want Martial to leave.
Yeah, because when Eric Bailly got loaned, because when Eric Bailly got loaned out, I was hurt. But people won't say that about Martial. They'll protect him. They'll protect his.
No, what happened when he went out to Sevilla last season? There were people celebrating
because he scored one goal and he got injured.
When he went out to Sevilla last season, people going good, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and he's back now, and what is he doing? Nothing.
PS5 is overheating.
He's doing nothing. Martial is doing nothing, and Martial won't do nothing. I guarantee you,
Martial
Martial
doesn't score
15
You know what? That's a big statement. Do you know what? What's a big statement as well?
I tell you, Martial doesn't score 15 goals this season, and you lot will eat these.
Okay, but you know what, Faz? You know what though? But that doesn't mean if he doesn't score 15 goals, he might not score 15 goals. That doesn't necessarily transpire to mean that he definitely had a bad season. Because if he does a Firmino where he scores 9 goals, but he facilitates and allowed Marcus Rashford to get double figures and allowed Anthony to get double figures and allowed Bruno to chime in and was our glue the whole season, and we hit the top 4, then everyone's going to see him as the glue. They're not going to see him as like he didn't score 15 goals or 20 goals. I agree that 100% the whole reliability. We've gone from Eric Ramsey to talking about the reliability of Martial. I don't know how, but since we're on the topic of Martial, I agree that we were in trouble at the back end of the transfer window because it was like, look, Martial's played amazing. 45-minute cameo against Liverpool was brilliant. Gets injured, can't rely on him. 100%. Jury was out on a lot of players. Rashford started scoring a couple of goals. How long is it going to last? Do you know what I mean? So I get it, but I was just like, you know that term, what's it called? Unprovoked attack. That's it. Unprovoked attack on civilians. I was like, you were just coming for people that like, Eric Ramsey just came from nowhere. I think someone said about Benny McCarthy. Like, do they think he's done it right? And I was like, well, you know what?
Yeah, well, atmosphere, bringing people together, all this kind of stuff. Eric Ramsey should leave.
Listen. At the end of the day, you can make points on all and everything, right? You can make a point, defensively we did this and this, that, the other. But I'll make the argument attacking wise, we didn't. And it's factual, we didn't. It is factual. Eric Ramsey, whilst he was the set piece coach, didn't. What did they do? Swapped him for another job. Why? Because he's not good enough as a set piece coach, and that's the end of it. Martial is in bench. He'll score 9 goals, but guess what? He won't be reliable. And the reason why I say Martial out is the same reason why people said Eric Bailly out, because he's not reliable. So have the same energy as you have for Martial.
You gotta have the same energy because you want
do you have the same energy? That's the point. You don't have the same energy.
No, I am going to come for Martial's neck because people had it for my boy Eric Bailly. So I'm going to come for Martial.
You just said it. You just said it, my boy. You just said my boy.
This bubble of protection, I am going to pop it. That's what I'm doing. I'm popping it. The bubble of protection around Martial, I'm popping it.
But how about
he's been there like 6-7 years. How long is it? 5? How long
barely played 100 games.
Yeah, didn't play 100 games.
I love Eric Bailly.
Over a bigger. Hold on a minute.
He came when
Mourinho came. He came when Mourinho came, right? And played like 5 years, whatever, and couldn't even as a centre back and couldn't manage 100 games.
And
who's false that? Martial's.
Wait. And Anthony Martial has a Ballon d'Or clause.
Just ignore that point, Will.
Not even
knowledge that one. Not even knowledge that point. Not even knowledge it. He's not played 100 games. Well, Anthony Martial is bringing up that point.
Ballon d'Or clause. No.
I remember this time last year, Faz. You wanted Rashford
Faz
out.
Truss, new Prime Minister, flip-flopping. Faz Truss.
They say Faz is the new Liz. What was I going to say? I remember, what game was it? There was a game, and you said, Rashford, get out. You can get out of my club. Just go. Go. Get out of my club.
Yep.
I don't think you thought that yesterday.
No, I didn't. And well done, Rashford. Well done for making me eat my words. That's what it's all about.
That's what Martial's going to do to you. That's what Martial's going to do to you. 15 goals coming.
So
I hope he gets nominated for Ballon d'Or.
So the point about Eric Ramsey, how can Eric Ramsey do that when he's not on set pieces anymore? Clearly
good, he's not on set pieces. And you know what? Take the shit off him as well. Let him go and do this cone distributing job somewhere else. Not in my club. There's better people to do this job.
Name one.
He's not doing the same. And the maddest thing is, he's not doing the same.
Do you know how bizarre it is? Faz, do you know how bizarre it is to have an irrational hatred for Eric Ramsey of all people?
He can't. He's not doing the
seriously.
Do you have any idea?
Who don't you like? Eric Ramsey.
Eric Ramsey is not good enough to be the set piece coach. That is why he's no
Cam,
longer.
You have literally no idea what is involved in his job.
Ask him, Cam. Go on.
He has no idea what is involved in the job, do you?
I don't know where Planet Faz is.
Right?
I don't know where Planet Faz is, but it's pretty far away from reality. Is where Planet Faz is. Yeah. It's in the twilight zone. We're talking multiverse settings in some sort of dystopian parallel universe where everyone hates Eric Ramsey of all people.
Eric Ramsey does not do the job that he was brought in for. There you go.
Right, listen,
as a coach,
he's
according to what everyone's saying, that's not even the job he does anymore. So
he's not good enough.
The reason
he's not good enough. That's why he doesn't do it.
Winning moment.
If he was good enough, would he not have stayed in his job as a set piece specialist and coach?
Faz is different for coaches. If you want to bring in coaches, right, you can't have all coaches taking the same session because that just doesn't work. What you do is you give them all separate responsibilities. They're all part of the overall coaching team, and you want that team to be as strong as possible. You want that team to have a mixture of different personalities, so you get different ideas, you get different things, so you can challenge each other and build the best team possible. But also within that, you give different people responsibilities for researching different things. That doesn't mean they do everything. Everything ultimately has to be signed off by the manager. What Eric Ramsey's job as set piece coach would have entailed was looking at how other teams set up from set pieces, how we can set up to counter that. And to be fair, defensively, there was a massive improvement. In terms of attacking, there were a lot of opportunities where we got the ball onto a player's head. He's not told Maguire, once the ball comes to your head, head it 5 yards wide. He's not told Ronaldo to miss them. We're creating more chances, the ball's going onto our players' heads more. We stopped conceding as many chances defensively, so that's an improvement. But now, again, he's been moved out of that role, not because he was necessarily bad at it, but because the new manager thinks his expertise will be put to best use elsewhere because of the rest of his coaching team. Ten Hag's brought in a whole new variety of people. They might have different skills. So it might be that Eric Ramsey, who is thought of as a fantastic coach, his skill set might be better suited somewhere else within this new team. That's all it is. You have absolutely no idea what he does on a day-to-day basis. You have no idea how good he is or isn't as a coach. You know nothing about him whatsoever. So you're just chatting absolute shit at this point.
Okay, I think Eric Ten Hag has made a brilliant decision of separating him.
Cam went full soliloquy
Eric Ten Hag has done a brilliant job
with an absolute
taking
button,
him out.
with a 1-2 combo.
Out now. Tactical view out now.
I think.
Oh my gosh! Oh
right.
my! Faz just did a madness. Faz, you
I
went out in
think.
public and did a madness for no reason.
Let me speak. I think Eric Ten Hag has done a brilliant job of making the decision of taking Eric Ramsey out of being the set piece coach.
Well, Ralph Rangnick made that decision.
That was ages ago. It was before.
But so did Eric Ten Hag, because Eric Ten Hag could have put him back on, and he's not doing it. Eric Ramsey's not doing the set piece job.
If anything, Eric Ramsey deserves credit for being like one of the only survivors from the shit coaching staff that was there before.
I was surprised he's still here. I swear to God, I was surprised.
No, what I'm saying is we've been praising Ten Hag. We've been praising Ten Hag, and so have you. We all have, and saying, look how he's got the players going. He's brought in Steve McLaren. We all went, oh bloody hell, Steve McLaren. That's a bit old school, isn't it? But look what I saw Steve McLaren firsthand in front of me, how involved he is on tour. I saw it. I was like, wow, I didn't expect Steve McLaren to be like that. So that's the first tick. Then you're saying, all right, cool. Players like people like what's his face? Obviously, Michael Carrick chose to leave and stuff like that. They all kind of got weeded out. You know, the Ralph Rangnick situation, we all had our say about that, saying how it's a disgrace and all of this stuff. But Ten Hag kept Eric Ramsey. Surely that's got to speak highly about the man.
Yeah, and he kept Ronaldo as well. And he kept David De Gea, who, guess what, doesn't come out for crosses, doesn't come out when balls...
David De Gea got there. David De
Gea. This is what we
it's not Eric Ramsey's fault.
What about
it's not David De Gea's fault.
Asking you about Eric Ramsey.
It's always David De Gea's fault that he doesn't come off his line.
Faz needs to be stopped. Faz is a danger to himself, man. He needs to be stopped.
So hold on, Faz, hold on. I'm getting confused now. At the beginning of this, 1 hour, 8 minutes and 55 seconds ago, you said that you're excited to go to Old Trafford again. You feel like a kid again. It's amazing. And you're smoking on the Arsenal pack. Now you want Martial out. You disgraced that De Gea is there. You disgraced that Eric Ramsey's there.
Martial out, yeah. I'm just saying what Cam says. I was just saying what Cam
Well,
says.
no,
That David De Gea doesn't come off his line.
He brought up, Flex brought up a good point, said Ten Hag see something in Eric Ramsey, and he went, wow, David De Gea, Cristiano Ronaldo.
He does it every
I
time.
was just saying
Big
what
up
Cam
Faz,
said
man.
about
Big up
David De Gea not
Faz.
coming out for crosses and not coming out of his line.
Faz is just
You ask him a
injuring
question, he gives you something
civilians,
else.
bro. Faz, you're injuring
Okay.
civilians for no reason, bro. For no reason.
Bare crossfire, bare people
Innit?
catching strays with
People-
Faz, bro. Civilians, bro. People nothing to do with it. Faz just running around the streets, GTA, doing a madness.
I would have just preferred a whole new set of coaches, man. I can't stand the I can't. It's just my.
Well,
fault.
basically, apart from Eric Ramsey.
Practically did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, I was surprised.
So
to
Eric
still
Ramsey
do it.
must be all right.
No, I don't know, man. We'll find out eventually. But I just nah.
Are we
I'm
not finding out now?
I'm
Are
not
we
sold.
not finding out now?
I'm not sold. I'm not sold. I'm not sold.
Clearly.
I don't know what he does.
Well, I'll
Yeah,
tell
well, you know what? I'm gonna find out. We'll have a conversation. We'll find out. You can educate me on what some of the brilliant things he does in Manchester United and Carrington. Some of the golden things he does. That's why the reason why he's here, and he's been moved from the set piece coaching.
Let me get these super chats out and we'll wrap up. This is the last super chat which actually started all of this. Do you think Benny McCarthy has had an influence on the strikers since he joined? We didn't actually get the chance to answer it, Liam, because Faz just did a madness. I think maybe potentially he might have. I don't know. Icon says, does anyone know the last tie we won for?
Just to answer that as well, Flex, Eric, Benny McCarthy did an interview with a South African TV channel or radio channel. So yeah, I do check up on my coaches. If you go and check that interview, you will actually see what Benny McCarthy does. He explains very clearly what he's doing with the forwards. He explains why the reason the managers brought him in and how he's integrating himself.
So what is it, Eric? So basically, Eric Ramsey needs to do a monologue to explain what is that.
Yeah,
hopefully, yeah, that would be good. You can educate me.
I think
You
he's
can
Welsh.
tell me how
He's doing an
brilliant he
interview in a Welsh paper, explaining exactly what he's doing, and it will be fine.
It was a video, actually,
yeah. Ray Diaz says, enjoyed angry post-game flex, hold it. It's nice to see Faz actually happy. Well, he was happy, I don't know about now, because of United rather than just upset by it. There you go. Ray Diaz is backing you. And before I've even read his super chat out, it's not relevant anymore because you're angry already.
No, I'm happy. I'm happy. The boys are winning. That's the most important thing.
Ten Hag Ball says, fans complaining about the starting lineup every game need to chill. Our manager knows what he's doing. Can't stand these player fanboys. The Campbell Live says, Owen is right. Faz is moving mad. The Campbell Live says, let Martial go and sign who, Faz? Faz is reckless. John Sem says, Maguire needs to have a good World Cup and be sold for 65 million. A. Gill says, he's a set piece specialist. Red Baron says, can we just be happy that we are looking decent? And Aminor says, Flex chose violence against Stricto and Gunnar Lee. Yeah, they needed to hold at them too. Red Baron says Arsenal is like that little brother that just needs to be chokehold now and again. Nathan says, Faz, my guy, please just accept you're wrong, LOL. And Game Fanatic says, Faz ready to blame our next loss on Eric Ramsey. So there you go. Everyone has had their say. Thanks for joining, guys. Smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We've got the tactical view coming out fresh off the bat tomorrow morning. So make sure you guys check that out as well. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.